Yeah, it's full of ghosts. It's not a pleasant experience.
Lights, camera, let's have some fun. It's time for Justin Hill plus one.
This is Justin Hill Plus One, and RSVPing to the VIP Lounge today is my fellow Aussie Sam Worthington and Severance star Britt Lower. Today we're going to chat about their new Netflix murder mystery series called I Will Find You, and it was adapted from the novel by author Harlan Coben, who is also behind shows like The Stranger and Missing You. Harlan also joins me for this chat, but I want you to stick around to hear Sam explain what his kids and his wife think of his new project.
My 11-year-old son, he binged the whole thing one night.
So imagine being locked up for life for a crime you didn't commit, and to make it worse, it's the murder of your own son. That's where we find David in this new Netflix thriller, I Will Find You. He's 5 years into his sentence, he's basically given up, and his ex-sister-in-law drops a massive bombshell with a recent photo from a theme park with a kid in the background who looks exactly like his son would look now. Realising that this boy might actually be his son, David pulls off this wild break out of jail. He's being chased by the FBI. There's this huge manhunt while he's trying to uncover exactly what's going on, all in the effort to try and get his son back. I recently sat down with Sam, who plays David, Britt Lower, who plays the ex-sister-in-law, plus the author of the book Harlan Coben, and the creator of the series Robbie Hull, and we talked about why Sam was the perfect fit for this role, how creepy it was shooting in an actual jail, and what it was about the story that made Harlan and Robbie pitch this to Netflix before the book was even finished. Sam, Britt, hello from Australia. Sam, hello
How you doing,
from
mate?
home. I wanted to kind of describe this series as, Britt, you might have heard Sam say this, but it gets right into it. And he would probably say that there's no mucking around in this show.
We would say this.
Yeah.
Now, Sam, am I right in saying that you actually shot a lot of this at Kingston Penitentiary in Canada? And if so, what was it like being in such a scary and creepy and I guess a formidable kind of location? And how did that impact how you played the character?
Yeah, it's full of ghosts. It's not a pleasant experience shooting in any prison. But yeah, that's what you're after with a show like this. It's why we shot in Times Square too. It's why we kind of, shot a lot of other scenes in New York City, because you want that authenticity. This Harlan's world is this melodramatic, pulpy world, and you're trying to find an authenticity within it. Yeah, I don't know whether you liked being in the prison for the times that you came.
No, I mean it was really affecting, like, for sure. And I went on a tour with one of the. It's like a museum at this point.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went on a tour, and it was just the history and the. It added so much authenticity and just a feeling of like, what these humans are living inside of, and brought a lot of like humanity to what Rachel is seeing in David after 5 years. This person who she knew so well has been changed by the environment that he's been in. It almost sent chills down your spine.
Yeah, it adds to that bleakness that you kind of feel when you're watching the show, particularly in those episodes. Britt, I wanted to talk to you about being in a Harlan Coben story. He often asks his characters to really look at their past, and I feel like your character has really been through it, and we kind of pick up the story at a point where she is just putting all of her faith and all of her trust in David, and I would love to know what you feel like she learned about herself up until this point of when we dip into the story.
This is a character who loves journalism. It's just so deeply embedded in her, and she's had her entire identity taken away when she lost her job at the Boston Globe. And so we're meeting her at this inflection point where she's teaching at a university, but she still has this fire inside of her, and she has this really strong gut instinct when she sees the photograph of a little boy who looks a lot like her nephew. She can't not see that, and she can't not pursue also the inclination that David was innocent 5 years ago. She just has this conviction. And it was really important to me to dive into the ethics of journalism. I listened to this amazing podcast with David Bornstein where he talked about the Hippocratic Oath of journalism, really about, how the job is to be helpful, to be like truly finding the humanity in each person and then the stories that you're telling. and to not do harm while you're in that process. And so that's what this character is grappling with from her past. Like you said, she's carrying the weight of knowing her actions and then coming to David and seeing he's been in a similar process of loneliness, of losing everything. And they're coming together on this common mission to find Matthew, but they have this unspoken kindredness with each other that they know what the other one has been through.
Yeah. Look, I would love to know finally, Australian audiences are about to watch this on Netflix. Sam, I would love to hear what you would like to say to Aussie audiences as they go to watch I Will Find You.
Yeah, well, look, I think Harlan's created his own genre. He creates these tales that are full of twists and turns and cliffhangers, red herrings, misdirection, switchbacks, you name it. So that, they're completely bingeable. My 11-year-old son, he binged the whole thing one night. Got to about 5 in the morning. He was still up watching it. So if it shows he doesn't really like anything I do. So it's got to be he loved it. He really loved it. Him and my wife. So yeah.
Official tick of approval. I love it. Hey, it's really good to chat to you. I really appreciate your time today, and thanks for putting out a wonderful series.
Oh,
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
man.
Harlan, Robbie, hello from Australia. Hello from Sam's home country. I wanted to start by asking you about this story that's been going around a lot lately, is that apparently you guys got together and pitched this as a show to Netflix before the book was even finished. And so it kind of got me wondering, what was the bit of gold that you found when you were putting this story together that made you go, oh, this has to be a show and we've got to take it straight to Netflix?
Robbie and I wanted to do something together. We had talked about it and doing the first maybe American show that would be done by Netflix. And I just started the book. I had maybe 80 or 90 pages into it. And I said to Robbie, here's a story I'm working on. It's not and I presented to him and his eyes just went wide. It was like I'm watching it and I'm getting more excited as he reacts. And we right away took it to Netflix, who said the same kind of thing. And they said, oh, is there I don't remember that novel. I'm like, well, it's not done yet. Yeah. So I wrote the novel. Robbie was working on the adaptation. Maybe Robbie, you'll tell him the things that drew you to the story.
Yeah, come on, Robbie, tell us how great Harlan is.
It's true.
Now you talk about me.
I admit I'm a fan. I've read everything. I was actually chasing another book series of his, the Martin Bulatar series, who's also going to be on Netflix. It was taken. And he pitched me the story. A few things attracted. One, we've seen the fugitive story before. We haven't seen someone who doesn't care if they prove they're innocent. They just care about finding their son. And to me as a father, I would give my life to save my own sons easily. What would terrify me is to not have that opportunity. And Harlan created this unique situation to where David says early on, a father's job is to protect his son. He didn't do that. And to have that pathos of a character that can take you through these 8 episodes, it's about finding his son and correcting that mistake from the past. To me, that was gold, and also just his style of putting the pedal down. We wanted to... It's a pet peeve I've shared with Harlan that people say, oh, you should watch this show. Just give it 3 or 4 episodes. I don't have time for 3 or 4 episodes. So we wanted to put the pedal down from the pilot, and I would say the last episode is even more tense than the pilot. So that was our goal.
Yeah, it's very obvious. And like I said, as a fan watching this, you kind of have no choice but to go along with this frantic journey that these characters are going on. I would love to know why Sam was the perfect person to play this role, and what made him be the one that had to play this role of David.
Sam has such gravitas. He does so much with so little. It really could have been a part that somebody played too hysterically or too emotionally, saw that picture and go, oh, my God, it's my son, that kind of a thing. Yeah. Sam doesn't do that, and we both loved him for that. Almost the quieter Sam is, the more strength and more intensity he delivers as an actor. Yes. And we kind of love that. Sam also has a vulnerability as an actor that played in here, and a generous spirit here. We did not want him to be an action hero. We did not want, there's that scene early on, they go to Times Square in episode 2, and you see he's completely lost, and he's actually holding on to her.
He's like a little boy.
Yeah, exactly. And Sam was willing, a lot of actors aren't willing to do that. Sam was really willing to do that and wanted to do that. He was encouraging that. He wanted this to be a two-hander, and he is the first one to say that. Britt Lower's character saves him more then he saves her. This was a dynamic that we both wanted to do to make it different than the other things we had seen. And Sam was right on board, and the perfect actor, because there's times when we're doing the show and we were like, just forget the line, just do a close-up of Sam.
Yeah, right. I mean, look, I love to hear that now that I've watched the series. I feel like I can rewatch it again knowing that. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for putting out a series that I'm sure people are going to be obsessed with, and I really appreciate it. That's it for this episode of Justin Hill Plus One. A big thank you to my plus ones today, Sam Worthington, Britt Lower, Harlan Coben, and Robbie Hull. Catch I Will Find You streaming on Netflix from June 18. If you want a front row seat to the biggest names in the business and all that red carpet moments that you won't see anywhere else, get your permanent VIP pass by subscribing and following so you never miss an episode. Drop a review and let me know in the comments who my next plus one should be. And until next time, stay gorgeous and remember, your name is always on the guest list.